All right, what's up guys? My name is Luis and welcome back to my channel for my second video. And today we're going to be talking about a pretty popular book. I think a lot of people have heard about it. I don't know if a lot of people have read it. We're going to be talking about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I feel like it's a pretty obviously important book. It's like the #1 finance book sold on Amazon and I think sold anywhere. But yeah, so we're going to be going over the 5 main points that I kind of got from the book. I feel like the book is a lot. I feel like I hear a lot of people say this about this book, that it kind of changed their whole viewpoint. A lot of people in the mastermind that I'm part of have said that their whole real estate and investing career, etc., all started when they first read this book. This book has me looking at the way that I see money completely different. And we're going to get a little bit more into that on these 5 points. But if you haven't read this book, the link will be down in the description below. It's a pretty easy read, probably take you a day if you really push through it. It'll benefit anybody, like at all. If you haven't read it or if you have any curiosity as to finance, anything like that, I feel like it's something that everybody should be read. It should be a high school book. It should be a book that, you know, you have to read your senior year before you graduate high school, because it's that important and it's not something that's taught in high school or in school in general. Let's get on to point number 1. First one is how I think about money, which is kind of general, but I used to think about money as that saying, time is money, right? $20, if you're getting paid $20 an hour, that's 20, you know, an hour of your time is worth $20, you know? So in 4 hours, you can make what, $80? So that's like not the way that I think about money now. Now I think about money as, how do I put my money to work for me? So if that $20 I invest it into something, it only pays me back $2 hypothetically a day. That's $2 a day that I'm no longer working for, but I'm still getting paid residually. And I'd rather have that than spend the $20 and have to go work another hour for that next $20. But with that being said, it's kind of made me a lot more frugal. But I always thought about money that way, as X amount of time is X amount of money. And that's just not the way that I look at it anymore. And now I'm a lot more frugal because I just want to invest everything that I have. So it's not a lot yet, but I'm so frugal now compared to how I used to be. But yeah, so essentially, I think in the book he says, pretend that money are your soldiers and you want to send your soldiers out to work for you, to make money for you. Point number 2 is the importance of financial literacy. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, they love working for money, but they don't take the time to understand money. I'll listen to podcasts now, I'll read books, I want to learn everything about it. And it's just funny to me that everybody wants this, you know, everybody wants money, but nobody wants to take the time to understand what it is they're actually working for. Especially like the tax code, a big thing he talks about in the book is just knowing exactly how to avoid taxes, which some people think is bad, but you're literally just playing the game. And if you're paying a lot of taxes, you're just losing the game. So point number 3 is assets versus liabilities. A lot of people look at their home as their biggest asset, and I looked at it the same way. I was graduating college and I was thinking about buying a home, and I was, you know, gonna do the whole live in it. And a lot of people, if you ask them what their biggest asset is, they're gonna say their home. Home's gonna hold a majority of your net worth. You're gonna have 80-90% of your net worth, but this home that you claim to be an asset is taking money out of your pocket every single month, as opposed to, say you moved out of that house and you use it as a rental. You're still renting. Say it's your only property, but that house is not producing you $200-300 a month in cash flow, but you're still getting the loan pay down. You're still getting the appreciation. And now you're just renting. Essentially, that $300 would just go towards your rent, and then you'd be living slightly cheaper. So I always thought, as your first property, you know, you're going to live in it. In simple terms, assets put money into your pocket every month, and liabilities take money out of your pocket every month. So on to point number 4. So point number 4 being mind your own business, as he says in the book, means essentially pay yourself first. If you are working a 9-to-5, which I currently am, I'm in the military, which is actually more than a 9-to-5. It's like, yeah. Anyways, what he essentially means by that is, with your paycheck every month or whatever you're earning, make sure you pay yourself first and you pay your liabilities last. So invest in yourself first. If you need to buy a course and you know you might be short on rent or whatever, you buy that course because it's going to help you make money later. He's not saying don't pay your rent, but essentially it's going to force your brain to think about how to make that extra money that you need to now pay for rent. But you need to invest in yourself first before you pay your liabilities. It sounds kind of, the way when I read it, it sounded kind of weird. I was like, well, you're saying not to pay my bills? It's more of just like, make sure you're investing in yourself first, whether it's through courses, if it's buying another asset, whether it be a small or big one. It's just putting yourself before your liabilities, because your liabilities are taking money out of your pocket as opposed to either setting you up to make more money or setting you up to learn a skill that's going to help you produce more money. Biggest thing is just invest in yourself first. It could be a lot of things, but make sure you're putting yourself first before you're paying off your liabilities. And if you're going to be short on your liabilities, you better figure it out and either go drive Uber, deliver Postmates, whatever you need to do, but make sure you're paying yourself first, because if you don't, you're just going to end up in this rat race for the rest of your life. I just hit the mic. Whoops. Point number 5 is that it was kind of a big quote that stuck out. Rich people play to win, poor people play not to lose. And I used to think the same way. You know, you don't want to take a risk because you don't want to lose your money. If you never pull the trigger and take the risk, you're going to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life, or until whatever America or the world wants you to retirement age, 63, 64. I'm not trying to work till that age. And if you never take that risk, you'll never have the chance to win. You might lose 10 grand that it took you 4 months to save up, but the lessons that you're going to learn from losing that 10 grand are going to help you a lot more in the future. Like earlier this year, during March, during the stock market, like semi-crash or whatever happened, it was like the bottom of the market, and I was just like, it's gonna keep going lower. So I kind of gambled a lot of the money that I had saved up, and I ended up losing like $18,000 in like 2 weeks. But the lessons that I learned from it are, don't throw your eggs all in one basket, and make sure that you have your ass covered, because it wasn't a fun experience. I was like stressed out for a few days, but then I was like, you know what, I learned, I'm gonna move forward, and at the end of the day, it's $18,000. It's not gonna mean much in the 10-year span. So don't be afraid to lose, because you can't lose. If you lose, essentially you learn something, and if you just take that lesson and you move forward in life and you use that, I mean, this sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Like even with this channel, I was so worried about making it because I'm like, oh, people are gonna mock me and judge me, and I'm just like, I mean, worst case is I suck, which this is only my second video, so I mean, I might suck. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel like that's a huge thing that I took, is just like, stop being scared to fail. And that's like the biggest thing that a lot of people, they let that fear hold them back, because they're just scared of what people are going to say. And I was scared of what people were going to say. That's why it took me 2 months to make that last video that you guys saw, like 2 months, because I was so scared of what people were going to say, being judged and kind of mocked. If I fail, I fail, like, and I'll just move forward. It's not that big of a deal, and you just got to use those lessons, and you got to keep moving forward. And I feel like that, again, sounds really cliche, but it's just true, and it's hard to mentally get past that fear of getting judged. But with that, I mean, I set myself up to potentially fail with this channel. What if I don't fail in this? And I do get somewhat of a following, and people do want to listen to what I got to say, and what if it just goes well? And that possibility would have never happened if I just didn't take that leap of faith, which I think is huge. Stop caring about what people think and what people are going to say, and just do what you want to do. And that's finally what I'm doing. And it's a little weird still talking into a camera. I've been wanting to do this for a minute, and I'm just doing it, and it's weird. Essentially, if you made it this far, you just need to take that leap of faith and just take that first step. If you've been thinking about doing something, just do it. Just take that first leap of faith. Don't care about what people are going to say about you, and just do it. And it's okay to fail. People need to get out of that mindset that they can't fail, because you're going to fail. People fail. It's just part of life. And schools make it like a bad thing when you get a bad grade on a test and you're scared to bring it back to your parents because you failed. But did you try? Did you learn something? Whenever you went over the answers to the test, you learn what you did wrong, and you're moving forward, and it won't happen again. Or if it does, you're going to learn. It's that easy. Overall, I think it's a great book. I told myself I would read every 2 months, just so I can kind of stray away from the ideas and like everything that he talks about in the book. It's going to be linked down in the description. It's a great book. I think it's like a foundation of a lot of people. I hear a lot of people that are big now that said this is the book that kind of started it all for them. And I feel like it's the book that's starting it all for me. I mean, I'm still early in my investment career and finance, everything, and I'm just excited, and I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and I want this, and I'm going to do it. And if I fail, I fail. So what?